Welcome to the CXR channel, our premier podcast for talent acquisition and talent management. Listen in as the CXR community discusses a wide range of topics focused on attracting, engaging, and retaining the best talent. We're glad you're here.
Welcome, everybody, to another Career Crossroads podcast. That's what we're doing today, isn't it, Jerry? It's a podcast.
Absolutely.
Live podcast with nothing particular to talk about. So we thought we'd get on here and wax a little poetic. I thought that might work. We'll
I'm glad you continued after wax to poetic. I think that's great. Thank you.
What else would you wax, Jerry?
I have no idea. That's what I told you before. I have no game.
Oh, you've got game, Mr. Crispin. You've got game. So I tell you what is interesting. We were talking about mentorship earlier. Yes. And that has been a topic for us. We've been doing some work with the CXR Foundation, the nonprofit that we formed last year. We're pretty excited. We've got some stuff coming up. It's all focused on like this aspect of internal mobility and mentors and mentees. And you had you're gearing up for a panel that we're also doing on September 1st with ATAP for Global Talent Acquisition Appreciation Day. And you sent a note to the panelists that said, let's talk about when you were a mentor or when you were a mentee, like an example in your life when you were a mentee. And these are leaders that are on the panel. This is a serious panel. So is there I want to get your viewpoint on this before I sort of do a big reveal here. Is there some aspect of that is most interesting for you? Is it?
Without a doubt, because I do think no matter how experienced you are or look to others, you basically should still be, and I think the best people still are learners. And fundamentally, they started somewhere. They really truly started somewhere to begin to get advice and help. And they were probably fearless about going after that. And so they were totally unafraid to be able to say to someone, for this moment in time, help me think through what I'm trying to accomplish. And I believe a great mentor is somebody who is also ongoing a mentee, but knows how to acquire that information, knows where that information is, or at least makes an attempt to get that. So I really was focusing in on, tell me a story of how way back when you had an issue that you needed to resolve and you reached out to someone and they helped you. And even though that person may have gone away, they, for that moment, they were the mentor or coach or advisor or whatever. I don't know what the terms are. I really don't like the term mentor because fundamentally it reflects something that's much more longer term. And I do think we're kind of in the moment these days.
So if I understand you correctly, if I have done some mentoring, even if it was only in a single conversation, have I technically been a mentor?
If it's yes, without a doubt. Technically, I don't, okay. That's how I would define it. It may be defined in the dictionary a lot differently that, over time you've taken care of them and followed them and whatever. And yes, we do build relationships with people that are lifelong. But I do think that even in those situations, the relationship shifts from, mentor to peer to colleague to whatever. So I have hundreds of mentors.
Yeah, well, it bodes well for the argument that mentor is kind of a shitty term. Like, I don't like that term either. I much prefer sort of because I think there's an easy role reversal too, between two very strong people who may be sharing or coaching each other, right? Like I may come to you for some coaching at one time and you may come back to me for an ask or a coach.
Daily, I need coaching from you.
We're coaches.
Kim is my coach on a whole bunch of stuff. So the reality is, if you're comfortable in your skin and engaging others, and you actually demonstrate that you care about helping others are more comfortable coming to you for those things that you can help them with. And if you can't, you just say, I can't, but here's a suggestion on some people that might help you. Yeah. And I think that's what we want to surround ourselves with. And fundamentally, that's all I've been interested in surrounding myself with for the majority of my career.
Well, and if you've ever been part of or seen the execution of a mentor program, like one of those ones where you have the scheduled calls and the ongoing, I would argue that I wonder if those days are gone. And we are in more of a, to your point, and in this moment, rapid fire, almost ad hoc.
Yeah, I think the 21st century requires that we rethink this. So let me give you an example of what I did 45 years ago. And it's not that boring. It's just old school. So I would read or hear about someone who was extraordinary in terms of being able to help me solve a problem, but I didn't have access to that individual directly. And in those days, what you had to do was send to the publisher of that person, because they were publishing books, send to the publisher your question in an envelope. So you tell the publisher, please send this, forward this on to the person who wrote the damn book, because I have no way of reaching them.
Wait, is this the original LinkedIn connection request?
This is what I would do this every Friday, because I was, passionate about learning certain kinds of things. And there were people out there that I wanted to reach out to. I will tell you, about 80% of them eventually responded, but it might take months.
Very much like LinkedIn connection requests today.
And eventually I might get their phone number so I could actually have a conversation with them. And in very few cases, I actually met them. But think about the tools that we have today. Instantly, I can find experts in almost any field, find their email, engage them in a way that if I do it well, they give me a response. Mm-hmm. And if they're the kind of person who's willing to share a short period of time, something that would help me move forward, that's great. So I do think that we need to be much more assertive in thinking about how the community grows, where we care about helping others if they're interested and respond to them. So if I say, I'm a mentor, here's the platform, this is something about me, and if you care to contact me, I promise I will respond. I may not be able to help you, but I'll respond. And for that moment, that's a mentor relationship. It may or may not develop into a more involved relationship, but that's okay. And I would like to be able to see more people get that kind of opportunity.
Well, and I think that's part of the project work we did, we aptly named Project One, because I think what we were saying is, to make a difference, just talk to one person, give them just 1 hour, talk to them just one time. I'm holding up 3 fingers as I'm saying one, but just one. Conversation can make all the difference from a change in directions or a different perspective or something like that. I think we've probably all, to your point earlier, I think we've all sort of had a moment. Maybe we were being coached or receiving some really great feedback, being mentored, and we didn't even realize it, didn't even register.
So I think a number of the friends that we have who are willing to profile themselves as mentors, if you will, mm-hmm. Are only making a commitment to, having a conversation, having a virtual coffee with someone who asked for it. And I do think that the mentees, in recognizing that that's what that's about, will, in many cases, will use the value of that and become a mentor themselves rather than just a mentee. Because I think all of us, as we grow, have something that we can pay forward. And I do think I do think that being able to ask for help is only the first step. If you get that help, you have, I think, a inferred responsibility to pay it forward.
Yeah, I do think we all at every level have something to offer somebody else.
Absolutely.
For sure. Well, that'll be fun. I think we'll see if we can throw the URL up on the screen when we push this out. But it is a fun and free mentoring. We've got to come up with a better word for it, but mentoring platform that we have developed through that CXR Foundation work. But even if someone doesn't use that, I think we go back old school, and I think it's really important for us to be open to those requests that come in from crazy guys reading our books.
Yeah, I would love to find a term that we could invent that reflects this style of coaching, mentoring, advising, whatever, without using any of those terms. But one of the things I studied when I was in college was power, and one element is in power is being able to name what it is. When you create the name,
yep,
that brings it into life, if you will, as that. And right now, when we reflect on mentoring or coaching, the images in the minds of everyone are going to be probably a little bit skewed left of what we intend. And so it's helpful if we could find a name that we could then define as this style of mentoring, if you will.
Mentoring, Jerry, I've got it. It's moching.
Mochi.
If you want to be a mocher or a mochi.
That's the kind of innovative responsiveness that I love about you, but I have no problem saying we're not quite there yet.
You know what? That feedback's the kind of moching that I need sometimes.
Exactly.
Well, I appreciate the quick catch up today, Jerry. So it was good. It was good to jump on the line and just do a quick chat. I am excited about the new Mochi platform that we have set up, and we'll announce that when it does go out. But I love the idea of double check the inbox requests on LinkedIn. That'd be my advice to everybody today. And if somebody's reaching out to talk, I can talk to them.
Yep, I think it's great. Now, where can people, by the time people see this and they're going, okay, well, where do I sign up?
Well, I think we're going to do a redirect from cxr.org/moching.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't work, you can try coaching. And if coaching doesn't work, you can try mentor.
Or just send us an email.
You can send us an email. There's a contact us page, and you can say you're interested in the Moching platform, and we'll get that ready for you.
Good. I love it.
Good stuff.
Thanks for listening to the CXR channel. Please subscribe to CXR on your favorite podcast resource and leave us a review while you're at it. Learn more about CXR at our website, cxr.works, facebook.com and twitter.com/careercrossroads, and on Instagram @careerxroads. We'll catch you next time.